Terrormorph. Holy...
That's a relief to hear. Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know. Captain? Hadrian? It would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terrormorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terrormorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed, first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The Cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us? I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. We're dismissed.
They're not killing them.
It's an exciting place to be.
Start getting a plan together for that data. We're going to get to the bottom of what happened at the spaceport.
Feeling today's going to be a great day. Don't you agree?
Crime has slowed down since you started helping out, which is good. I do. Thanks to you, the spaceport is up and running again, which is good for commerce, but also for smugglers. We've received a tip that someone has been bringing in contraband into New Atlantis through the spaceport, and we need to investigate. Great. First, speak to one of the technicians over by landing pad B. Ask them if they've noticed any suspicious activity. Once you've gotten a lead, cross-reference their testimony with ship records over at Aegis. When you're done, report back to me with your findings. See you later.
Yeah? Can't say I have. When you work a job like this, you see so many ships. They all sort of blend together. Nope. I just keep my head down and do my job. Speaking of which, I better get back to it. Sorry I couldn't be more help, but I got work to do.
There's something I need to talk to you about.
Hello. Something I can do for you? It's about time. I've been telling my supervisor about that cargo ship for ages. I'm beginning to think he was ignoring me. That's the problem. I don't really look at the ship names when I work, just the ID number granted for clearance. I think it was UC576B. I do know it's a cargo class transport, if that helps. It's the way the crew handled the cargo. They were being way too delicate. The manifest said they were carrying potatoes, spuds. I don't know what was in those crates, but it certainly wasn't that. Time to get back to it. Just doesn't add up. Spaceport had it.
I'm so nervous. What if they say no?
I'm listening.
I'm afraid I'm not the fewer people there are thinking about Aegis on a daily basis. That I do, Captain. Sergeant Yumi said you'd be coming to pick it up. You've got good timing, too. I actually have a friend on a classified star station who sent me this list of potential smugglers the other day. Here you are. Given I owe you for the last job, I hope it serves some use. All you really need to know is that we're here to serve and we're the good guys. Our main priority is the safety and security of the citizens and assets of the United Colonies, wherever they may be. We keep an eye on, well, everything. Well, you're certainly entitled to that opinion, and there are plenty of others who share it. We'll be looking out for you just the same. Yep, every ship on that list has a route that goes through New Atlantis. Not surprising, given we're the biggest port in town. And if they're smuggling stuff there, you can bet your ass they're smuggling stuff here. That's right. Classified station, top secret projects, etc., etc. Nothing you need to be concerned with at the moment, Captain. Ahem. There are other matters that require my attention eventually. We'll be seeing you.
How's the investigation going? Found those smugglers yet? Is that right? Do you know the name by any chance? Of course. How's the investigation going? Is that right? Captain Enjai's ship. I think you might have hit the mark here. You had reports of their crew being less than professional on several occasions. Still, being a little rough around the edges isn't exactly a crime. Are you sure it's the right ship? Then the next step is searching their cargo for any smuggled contraband. And, as luck would have it, I believe the Anansi has already arrived at landing pad B. I'll make the call to have the ship detained until further notice. Your job is to board the ship, locate any illicit goods, and return them here. And if any of the crew puts up a fight, I trust you know what to do. Good luck.
Recycled it. I have something I need to discuss with you. Hey. Thanks for taking the time to talk. I wanted to ask you about the artifact you found on Vectera. When you pulled it from the rock, held it in your hands for the first time, how did you feel? No, I don't think you understand. I know about the visions, the light, and the music. How did you feel inside? What were your thoughts? Raw energy? I've never heard that one before. I shouldn't be surprised. The artifacts aren't exactly what you'd call normal. True. But hey, how else would you describe it? The artifacts are so different, so alien, and I'm certain one of them reached out and spoke to you. Quite the mystery. Agreed. Unfortunately, there's no way that I know of to reply, and believe me, I've been trying to gather data on the damn things for years. Frustrating? No. Bewildering? Yes. It would be, oh, well, an explorer's dream to solve a mystery like this. I knew I picked the right person for the job. Look, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to talk, and for keeping an open mind. And I also wanted to say, well, I'm pleased we're on this journey together. It's the best decision I've made in quite a long time.
You with UC Security? My suggestion. You're barking up the wrong tree. Just get off the ship and tell your boss the ship is clean.
Looking for something? What? What?
You don't need to be here. Make it easy on yourself.
Well, it looks like you got me, officer. I guess this means my potato shipping days are numbered. But maybe you'd be willing to give a first-time offender a slap on the carpal bone. I don't suppose you're interested in a deal? Fine. You've made your choice. But now, you'll have to pay for it.
Find anything useful?
How's the investigation going? No major hiccups, I hope? Holding your breath won't work. Good work. Did you find anything? Very well done, Captain. Time and time again, you come through for us. Initially, I felt bad for having someone of your rank doing security, but frankly, you're worse than guilt. In any case, I'll have a team move the ship off the landing pad and do a full sweep. Make sure there's no other surprises on board. Oh, and before I forget, your payment. It's well deserved. That business with the Terrormorph. Good timing. We just got word of a disturbance over by the Nut in the Embassy District. A vandal, it seems. I've already dispatched an officer to the site, but they probably could use some support. Talk to the officer, get an update, and interview any witnesses involved. Thank you. Normally, I wouldn't waste your time with this, Captain, but a functionary over at Mass reported the crime. You'll be thrilled to know that a captain of the Vanguard is on the case. See you later, Captain.
Got something for me?
Nothing worse than having two witnesses with conflicting stories. And you're certain that's what you saw?
Oh, yeah. He was wearing a flannel shirt underneath a trucker jacket.
It doesn't match the description from the functionary. You said he was running away from the tram?
That's right. Oh, and he was carrying a book, A Tale of Two Cities.
Okay, just hold that thought one moment, sir. I need to speak with the captain.
Sure. There's a reward for this, right? Information leading to the capture?
Sir, just give me a moment with the captain, please. Thanks for taking this case, Captain. I realize your time is limited. Thanks, Captain. To be honest, I'm a little starstruck, but I'll do my best to keep things professional. This was supposed to be a simple case. We got an attempted vandalism, a knocked-over bin, and a witness who called in to ID the suspect. We were about to head down to the well to apprehend the guy when this new witness comes forward with additional info. Just one problem. His story conflicts with the functionaries. Yes, ma'am. I was the one who took the call and reported it to Sergeant Yumi. Normally, we don't give this much weight to tipsters, but when it's a masked official, we tend to take them at their word. Well, we got two witnesses with conflicting stories, so I'd like to go interview Functionary Gershon in person. Their office is at MAST, in the Interstellar Affairs Department. Affirmative. And as the higher-ranking officer, I'll let you take the lead, Captain.
Ah, Captain. Can I just say, it's a pleasure to meet the hero who stopped the Terrormorph invasion. And Officer Markanin, was it? I see you're here as well. Is there something the matter?
We just need to go over your testimony again.
I apologize, but I can't right now. I have an important meeting I need to attend. But I'd be happy to stop by UC Security later and speak with your sergeant. Captain, I will be happy to do so later, but now is a bad time. So unless you're arresting me, I must decline. Besides, I'm not the most eloquent of functionaries. I prefer the written word, which you're more than welcome to read. I encourage the both of you to check the information on my personal computer. I have written a detailed description of the vandal, Wantahir Vala, a known criminal who resides in the well. It should have everything you need to apprehend the thief. Now, if you'll excuse me. I'm sorry, but I really must be going.
Well, Captain, what do you think? Is what the functionary said true? Is this kid from the well our vandal? You sure, Captain? I get we got conflicting testimonies, but the witness at the tram wasn't exactly reliable. If not the kid, then who? What? Really? Do you have proof? If the terminal doesn't have what you need, try checking around his desk. Why? Do you not have enough proof as is? Okay, Captain. I don't know if it'll be enough, but I trust your instincts here. And if the functionary's the perp, that means he not only committed the crime, but tried to frame the kid. If I can speak frankly, Captain, that really pisses me off. The functionary said he was going to chat with Sergeant Yumi, right? Let's head back to UC Security and see if we can't give him what he deserves. What is it, Captain? We got our suspect. Let's go put him on. Pardon. It's an honor to work with you, Captain.
Captain, there you are. I just finished giving a sworn statement to...
Ah, Captain. Functionary Gershon was just giving me his full statement.
It's mostly repeating the documentation on my computer. I trust that was sufficient enough to make an arrest? Me? Don't be ridiculous, Captain. I witnessed the crime.
Functionary Gershon, you're under arrest for vandalizing the tram and an attempted frame-up. Depending on what you told the sergeant, we can probably add false testimony to the list.
Hold on. First off, these are very serious accusations, Captain. Are you sure you want to go down this road? More importantly, do you have any proof? Now, that is pretty damning. Old Earth books are very hard to come by. The odds of this witness naming that exact book and the functionary owning said book, that's a long shot. Unless, of course, he's the perp. Interesting. Not exactly the uniform of a functionary, is it? Is it unusual? Yes. But that doesn't mean it's a crime. All right. I've heard it. Enough. You're not arresting the functionary.
Captain, there you are.
Ah, Captain. Functionary Gershon was just giving me his full statement.
It's mostly repeating the documentation on my computer. I trust that was sufficient enough to make an arrest? Me? Don't be ridiculous, Captain. I witnessed the crime.
Functionary Gershon, you're under arrest for vandalizing the tram and an attempted frame-up. Depending on what you told the sergeant, we can probably add false testimony to the list.
Hold on. First off, these are very serious accusations, Captain. Are you sure you want to go down this road? More importantly, do you have any proof? Now, that is pretty damning. Old Earth books are very hard to come by. The odds of this witness naming that exact book and the functionary owning said book, that's a long shot. Unless, of course, he's the perp. Your word may carry weight, Captain, but we don't base our law. How can I help you, Captain? Ah, Captain. Functionary Gershon was just giving me his full statement.
It's mostly repeating the documentation on my computer. I trust that was sufficient enough to make an arrest? Me? Don't be ridiculous, Captain. I witnessed the crime.
Functionary Gershon, you're under arrest for vandalizing the tram and an attempted frame-up. Depending on what you told the sergeant, we can probably add false testimony to the list.
Hold on. First off, these are very serious accusations, Captain. Are you sure you want to go down this road? More importantly, do you have any proof? Now, that is pretty damning. Old Earth books are very hard to come by. The odds of this witness naming that exact book and the functionary owning said book, that's a long shot. Unless, of course, he's the perp. I've gotten that sense myself at times. Most of his reports are complaints about that sector. Well, I've heard all I needed to hear. Functionary, do you have anything to say for yourself?
If you think I'm going to let you bring up these trumped-up charges...
That's enough. Officer Markkinen, please escort the functionary to the holding area.
I will not take this accusation lying down, of that I can assure you. You can't do this! Your proof is circumstantial at best!
Don't worry, functionary. We're not putting you in jail quite yet. Like some people, we respect the rule of law.
You'll be hearing from my lawyer, Sergeant. Expect to be demoted to desk duty by week's end.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Now that was a shock. Next time, give me some warning before telling me my star witness is the one who committed the crime. Very funny. Maybe for your next job, you ought to apply for a part-time comedian. Anyway, good work on this case. Functionary Gershon may talk tough, but I know his type. It won't take long for him to crack. And hopefully, that means the end of his obsession with the well. And, speaking of endings, I was going to mention this earlier, but I didn't want things to turn all sentimental in the middle of your investigation. With all the new recruits as of late, our staffing problems are no longer an issue. Which means we've exhausted our need for a part-time security officer. Likewise, Captain. We have your position filled, but not your shoes. On behalf of the entire UC Security Department, I wish you the best of luck with the Vanguard and your future missions. And if you ever need to talk or reminisce about the beat, I'll be here.
Seems like
Yes?
Yes? What?
That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terrormorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Faroon.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Faroon to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Faroon? The good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her. Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support. And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval. It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice. I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Captain, congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard.
Sorry, but I need sign-off from the Interstellar Affairs office before I can set foot in.
You are a visitor? You'll find the ambassador in our office.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby, offices. I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective. But you lead, and I'll follow.
All that security, and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
Guests can make themselves comfortable in the lobby.
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants Terrormorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right. I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go. You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance, one, to convince me. Understood. I'm listening. Londinian. They had to abandon the planet. But that couldn't happen again. I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility. Well, Captain, you make some good points. But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions. Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these Terrormorphs. The monitors will make sure of it. You go in once, you get everything you need on your trip, and never again. And all research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight. Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks. So, do we have an agreement? Excellent. Follow me.
It's good to be back at the embassy.
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there. Here, I'll reach out to Deputy McIntyre. We'll coordinate the necessary oversights. Two unlikely allies, I guess.
exactly. It's like...
When someone insults you, you want to just beat the shit out of them sometimes, but you don't.
Well, not quite what I was thinking, but that's actually a great example, Marcus. The man in the story was cruel. Do you know why he was cruel? You must feel what he feels, understand his pain, accept it, and deliver it not back upon him. I may not always have the perfect advice for people, but I try to just be here for them. I think that's what they really need more than anything else. Were you seeking worldly wisdom or just a friendly ear? Are you sure about that? I think we're all looking for something, even if we're not aware of it. I could be wrong, of course, wouldn't be the first time, but if you find you're desiring something more, perhaps the church can be of service. You might give something of our writings a read. See what you think. I'd recommend starting with Among the Graph Jumps. I'm sure there's a copy lying about somewhere. And if you'd like, we could have a little chat afterwards. I'll certainly be here for it, or any other reason you might need me. Understandable. The things I've forgotten over time. Well, you could fill more than a few books. As I said, I'm sure there's a copy somewhere. Might jog your memory. And it would give us an opportunity to discuss the ideas, which I would thoroughly enjoy. If you do read it, you know where to find me.
It's a shame House Varun abandoned their embassy. They could have learned a lot from one another. This isn't what I expected at all. It appears the flora they were using as decor has overgrown the entire embassy. It'd actually be more fascinating if its branches weren't blocking our way. as well do what we can.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss. Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge, and then silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly? Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, hmm? And the broadcast spoke of Terrormorphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires information, then. On Terrormorphs, presumably, hmm? Do I see this all clearly? The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy, with little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Varun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them.
As the chair of Constellation, I take personal responsibility in vouching for this woman's integrity. She'll keep her word.
Well then, I shall not fear. Please, follow me. Let's hope it still works. And there. Let it be used for good.
Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? We're all in agreement. So the old man was still lurking around in there. Fine work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Here on Vanguard business?
Diplomacy would never know.
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules. Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin. You may proceed, Captain.
What? Oh.
There you are.
Captain, Deputy told me what went down. Impressive work.
Captain, if you'd be willing to transfer the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing what comes next.
Time for us to start getting some real answers, and figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready. Acknowledged and accepted, Captain. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Captain, if you'll follow me. All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies? Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen? Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you. But this person is in a sensitive position. Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terrormorphs. And they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms? Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.